Hi, and welcome back to our course ABE 121, AB Structures Engineering. And now we're going to talk about the roof system of a building. Now, the topic will cover entirely different types of roofs that are being used or that are being applied in different buildings. And essentially, the roof is the part of the building that provides protection against or protection for its the inhabitants or the living components of the system and also other non-living materials against the elements. What elements? Where we're talking about here, the rain, the sun, the wind, and the heat and cold. Okay, environmental factors that are essentially or could be or that could be uh, detrimental to the conditions of the inhabitants and other materials inside the building. Thus, a roof must be able to withstand the dead load of the roofing and, and framing, okay, and as well as the external, such as the wind, or in some places, the snow or dust flows. Snow in places that are temperate, and dust in desert areas. Okay. Now, the roof must be leak-proof. It must also be durable, uh, fire resistant. That's optional, and heat resistant. Okay, another optional consideration or parameter. When we say heat resistant, it should insulate uh, the heat. Okay, the heat from whatever sources, such as the sun. Okay. Uh, Now there are I'll be discussing seven common roof shapes that are used in the buildings. We're not going to talk exactly about the implementation of the roofing system or the construction. We will discuss that when we go over the galvanized iron sheet material used in buildings. So let's start with the flat roof shape, and this is used limitedly in farm buildings because if you could see figure 1A, there is the possibility of water collection because there's no slope that would guide the flow of water down the ground. And since this is there's a possibility of water ponding or collection, there's a possibility of high maintenance for this kind of roof shape. Next is the shed, and this is the easiest and simplest uh, roof shape to construct and maintain, and thus this is commonly used in on story poultry houses, open sheds for swine and cattle, and also some other buildings. Now the gable, this is figure 1C. This is a roof shape that has found universal use on farm buildings, and it's commonly used for two-story poultry houses, dairy barns, and also single-story buildings that are too wide for the shed type of roof shape. All right, so next is the hip, and if you could see, this is more of a aesthetic, okay, or architectural uh, um, function than utility. And it's because you can see this is also the ones being used of in house in residential in urban areas, and this requires more complicated framing than the previous three, if you could see, especially um, uh, the gable, which looks like the hip in some angle. Okay. Now the hip has found common use in the farms with garages. Okay. There's the example of the hip in figure 2A. Okay. Next is the monitor and semi-monitor, and this is a special type of roof that adds height to the building for more storage space. And the space extension is often used for ventilation, okay, and additional light. If you could see, because of the space, okay, there's more uh, free air movement via convection, okay, and then there's also the entrance of light um, the from the outside, okay, from the ambient, and okay, the storage space would allow the added um, storage space for storage for other materials such as hay and or other feed materials for the animals. Okay, then we're down to the last two, and we have the gambrel and the arc or Gothic. The gambrel is used to provide more more overhead space for hay and feed storage. Okay, and it's commonly used for two-story dairy barns and other livestock shelters. Okay, the arc or Gothic used similarly to the gambrel. If you could see the similarity of these two is it's very obvious. Um, it's also used, okay, to provide more overhead space for storage of feed materials. The arc roof construction is also simpler and easier compared to the gambrel because there are already available commercial prefabricated laminated arc rafters that allows, okay, the easy, okay, do it yourself fixed installation, okay, of this type of uh, structure, okay, in a building. Okay, so again, we're going to discuss the roofing material when we now discuss the different construction materials for our buildings and structures. That's also where we're going to discuss the lapping or the the lapping or the installation of this roofing materials. For now, we're going to end with this roof shapes, and I'll see you in the next lecture where we discuss the uh, combined loadings of buildings and structures. I'll be seeing you by then. Thank you for listening.